The science of breaking bad habits and building better ones. Introduction. The habit revolution. We are creatures of habit. From the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, our days are structured by countless automatic behaviors, many of which we barely even notice. These habits, both good and bad, shape our lives in profound ways, influencing our health, productivity, relationships, and overall well-being. Whether it's the morning cup of coffee, the afternoon check of social media, or the nightly routine before bed, habits are the invisible architecture of our daily existence. For too long, we've relied on willpower and sheer determination to change unwanted behaviors, often with limited and unsustainable results. We beat ourselves up for lacking discipline when we fall short, failing to recognize the powerful forces at play beneath the surface. This book offers a different approach, one grounded in science and practical strategies. It's time for a habit revolution. This revolution begins with understanding. By delving into the neuroscience of habits, we can uncover the mechanisms that drive our behaviors and unlock the potential for lasting change. We will explore the core concept of the habit loop, the cyclical process of cue, routine, and reward that forms the foundation of every habit, from the simplest to the most complex. The neuroscience of habits. Our brains are wired to form habits as a way to conserve energy and streamline our actions. By turning repeated behaviors into automatic routines, our brains free up cognitive resources for more demanding tasks. This process involves specific brain regions, including the basal ganglia, which plays a crucial role in habit formation and storage. We'll explore how these neural pathways are created and reinforced, providing a deeper understanding of why habits are so powerful. The habit loop, cue, routine, reward. At the heart of every habit lies the habit loop. This three-part cycle begins with a cue, a trigger that prompts the brain to initiate a behavior. The routine is the actual behavior itself, which can be physical, mental, or emotional. Finally, the reward is the positive reinforcement that the brain receives, making it more likely that the behavior will be repeated in the future. Understanding this loop is essential for both breaking bad habits and building good ones. This book is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, Decoding Your Habits, will guide you through the process of identifying your own habits and understanding the cues, routines, and rewards that drive them. Part 2, Breaking Bad Habits, provides practical strategies for disrupting unwanted behaviors by replacing them with healthier alternatives. Finally, Part 3, Building Good Habits, offers a step-by-step guide to cultivating positive behaviors that will enhance your life. By the end of this book, you will have a deep understanding of how habits work and a toolkit of proven strategies to transform your life. You'll learn how to take control of your behaviors, rather than being controlled by them. You'll discover the power of small changes and how they can lead to significant and lasting transformations. Get ready to rewire your life. Chapter 1. Identifying your habits, recognizing the patterns that shape your life. We often go through our days on autopilot, performing countless actions without conscious thought. These automatic behaviors, our habits, are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of our lives. They dictate how we spend our time, what we consume, how we interact with others, and ultimately, who we become. Before we can effectively change our habits, we must first become aware of them. This chapter will guide you through the process of identifying the patterns that shape your life, providing you with the tools and techniques to shine a light on your automatic behaviors. What is a habit, really? A habit is more than just a routine, it's a learned behavior that has become automatic through repetition. It's a mental shortcut our brain creates to save energy and make decisions more efficiently. Imagine having to consciously decide every morning whether to brush your teeth, what route to take to work, or how to respond to a common email. It would be exhausting. Habits allow us to perform these tasks with minimal effort, freeing up our mental resources for more complex tasks. The importance of self-assessment. Becoming aware of your habits requires conscious effort and self-reflection. It's about stepping outside of your automatic behaviors and observing them as an outsider would. This can be challenging, as habits often operate below the level of conscious awareness. However, with the right tools and techniques, you can bring these hidden patterns to light. Tools for self-assessment. Habit tracking worksheets. A simple yet effective way to identify your habits is to use a habit tracking worksheet. These worksheets provide a structured framework for recording your daily activities and noting when they occur. By consistently tracking your behaviors, you can begin to see patterns emerge. You can create your own or find numerous templates online. Key elements to track include the specific behavior, the time of day it occurs, the location where it occurs, any associated emotions or thoughts. Journaling prompts. Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-discovery. By regularly reflecting on your day and answering specific prompts, you can gain valuable insights into your habits. Some helpful prompts include: what did I do immediately after waking up this morning? What activities did I engage in during my lunch break? What do I typically do before going to bed? When did I feel stressed or anxious today, and what did I do in response? The 3 whys technique. When you notice a recurring behavior, ask yourself why 3 times. This technique helps you dig deeper into the underlying reasons for your actions. For example, behavior: checking social media first thing in the morning. Why? Because I want to see what's new. Why? Because I'm afraid of missing out on something. Why? Because I seek validation and connection. Identifying keystone habits. Some habits have a disproportionate impact on our lives, influencing other behaviors and creating cascading effects. These are known as keystone habits. Identifying your keystone habits is crucial because changing them can have a ripple effect, leading to positive changes in other areas of your life. For example, regular exercise can be a keystone habit. It can lead to healthier eating habits, improved sleep, increased energy levels, and a more positive mindset. By focusing on changing a keystone habit, you can create a chain reaction of positive change. Putting it into practice. Start by choosing 1 or 2 areas of your life you'd like to examine more closely. It could be your morning routine, your work habits, or your evening activities. Then, use the tools described above, habit tracking, journaling, and the 3 whys technique, to identify the specific habits that operate within those areas. Don't judge yourself or try to change anything just yet. The goal of this chapter is simply to become aware. By shining a light on your existing habits, you're taking the first and most important step toward creating lasting change. In the next chapter, we will delve into the power of cues and how they trigger our automatic behaviors. Chapter 2. The power of cues, understanding your triggers. In the previous chapter, we explored the importance of identifying your habits. Now, we turn our attention to the first component of the habit loop, the cue. Cues are the triggers that prompt our brains to initiate a specific behavior. They are the silent directors of our automatic actions, often operating outside of our conscious awareness. Understanding the power of cues is essential for both breaking bad habits and building good ones. What is a cue? A cue is any sensory input or internal thought that signals to your brain that it's time to perform a particular behavior. It's a predictive signal that tells your brain, in this situation, I usually do this. Cues can be external, originating from your environment, or internal, arising from your own thoughts and feelings. Common cue categories. Cues can be categorized in several ways, making it easier to identify the triggers that influence your habits. Here are some common cue categories. Location. The physical environment where you are located can be a powerful cue. For example, sitting on the couch might cue you to turn on the TV, while entering your office might cue you to start working. Time. The time of day or a specific time interval can also act as a cue. For instance, 7 a.m. might cue you to make coffee, while 3 p.m. might cue you to crave a snack. Emotional state. Your feelings and emotions can be strong internal cues. Feeling stressed might cue you to reach for comfort food, while feeling bored might cue you to check social media. Social context. The people you are with and the social situation you are in can also trigger certain behaviors. For example, being at a party might cue you to drink alcohol, while being with your family might cue you to engage in certain conversations. Preceding events. The actions or events that immediately precede a behavior can become strong cues. For instance, finishing dinner might cue you to clear the table, while sitting down at your desk might cue you to open your email. The Cue Routine Reward Journal, mapping your habit loops. A practical exercise for understanding the relationship between cues, routines, and rewards is to create a Cue Routine Reward Journal. This involves consciously observing your behaviors and recording the following information for each habit you want to analyze. Cue. What triggered the behavior? Be as specific as possible. Consider the location, time, emotional state, social context, and preceding events. Routine. What was the actual behavior you performed? Describe it in detail. Reward. What did you get out of the behavior? What was the immediate payoff? Here's an example. Cue. Phone vibrates with a notification, social context/preceding event. Routine. Pick up phone and check social media, physical behavior. Reward. Feeling of connection and validation, emotional reward, momentary distraction from work, emotional reward. By consistently filling out this journal, you will begin to see clear patterns emerge. You'll start to recognize the specific cues that trigger your unwanted behaviors and the rewards that keep them in place. Identifying your personal cues. To effectively identify your own cues, pay close attention to the following. When does the behavior occur? Note the time of day, day of the week, and any specific time intervals. Where does the behavior occur? Identify the specific locations or environments where the behavior is most likely to happen. What was happening just before the behavior? Consider the preceding events, actions, or thoughts. How were you feeling before the behavior? Reflect on your emotional state, including any specific emotions or moods. Who were you with when the behavior occurred? Consider the social context and the people you were with. By carefully observing your behaviors and using the Cue Routine Reward Journal, you can uncover the hidden triggers that drive your habits. This awareness is the first step toward taking control and making lasting changes. In the next chapter, we will delve into the second component of the habit loop, the routine itself. Chapter 3. Deconstructing the routine, analyzing the behavior itself. Having explored the power of cues in the previous chapter, we now turn our attention to the second component of the habit loop, the routine. The routine is the actual behavior itself, the physical, mental, or emotional action you perform in response to a cue. While it might seem straightforward, routines can be surprisingly complex, often consisting of a chain of smaller actions and thoughts. Deconstructing the routine, breaking it down into its constituent parts, is crucial for understanding how it functions and how we can effectively change it. What is a routine? A routine is the specific behavior you perform after encountering a cue. It's the action that you've learned to associate with that particular trigger. Routines can range from simple actions like brushing your teeth to more complex sequences of behaviors like preparing a meal or completing a work project. Breaking down complex routines. Many routines are not single, isolated actions but rather a series of interconnected steps. To effectively analyze these complex routines, it's essential to break them down into smaller, more manageable parts. This process allows you to identify the specific actions and thoughts involved in the routine and understand how they contribute to the overall behavior. Here's an example of breaking down a complex routine. Habit. Snacking on junk food in the evening. Complex routine. Sit down on the couch after dinner. Turn on the TV. Open the pantry. Select a bag of chips. Return to the couch. Eat the chips while watching TV. Deconstructed routine. Step 1. Sitting on the couch, physical action. Step 2. Turning on the TV, physical action. Step 3. Feeling a craving for something salty, internal thought/feeling. Step 4. Walking to the pantry, physical action. Step 5. Scanning the pantry shelves, mental action. Step 6. Choosing a bag of chips, decision/mental action. Step 7. Returning to the couch, physical action. Step 8. Opening the bag of chips, physical action. Step 9. Eating the chips, physical action. Step 10. Focusing on the TV show while eating, mental action. By breaking down the routine in this way, you can see the individual actions and thoughts that contribute to the overall behavior. This level of detail is essential for identifying points of intervention and developing effective strategies for change. Identifying specific actions and thoughts. When deconstructing a routine, pay close attention to both the physical actions and the mental processes involved. Physical actions, these are the observable behaviors that you perform. They can include things like walking, talking, eating, typing, or any other physical movement. Mental actions, these are the internal thoughts, feelings, and decisions that occurred during the routine. They can include things like cravings, urges, thoughts about the task at hand, or emotional responses. The importance of awareness. Becoming aware of the specific actions and thoughts that make up a routine is crucial for several reasons. Identifying points of intervention. By understanding the individual steps involved, you can pinpoint specific points where you can intervene and disrupt the routine. Developing substitute routines. Deconstructing a routine helps you identify the needs or desires that the routine fulfills. This information is essential for developing effective substitute routines that satisfy those same needs in a healthier way. Increasing self-control. By becoming more aware of your actions and thoughts, you can increase your self-control and make more conscious choices about your behavior. Putting it into practice. Choose one of the habits you identified in Chapter 1 and use the techniques described in this chapter to deconstruct the routine. Write down each step involved, including both the physical actions and the mental processes. Be as detailed as possible. Once you have deconstructed the routine, reflect on the following questions. What are the key steps in this routine? Are there any specific points where I could easily interrupt the routine? What needs or desires does this routine fulfill? By understanding the inner workings of your routines, you'll be well equipped to make lasting changes. In the next chapter, we'll explore the final component of the habit loop, the reward. Chapter 4. The reward factor, uncovering the real payoff. We've explored cues and routines, the first two components of the habit loop. Now, we arrive at the final, and perhaps most crucial element, the reward. The reward is the positive reinforcement that your brain receives after performing a routine, making it more likely that you'll repeat the behavior in the future. Understanding the nature of rewards, how they work, and the role they play in habit formation is essential for both breaking bad habits and building good ones. What is a reward? A reward is anything that your brain perceives as positive or pleasurable. It can be a physical sensation, an emotional feeling, a social interaction, or even a sensory experience. The key is that it provides a sense of satisfaction or relief, reinforcing the connection between the cue and the routine. Types of rewards. Rewards can be categorized in several ways, helping us understand the diverse range of positive reinforcements that drive our behaviors. Physical rewards. These are tangible rewards that provide a physical sensation or satisfy a physical need. Examples include eating a delicious meal, taking a hot shower, or getting a good night's sleep. Emotional rewards. these rewards provide a positive emotional feeling, such as joy, excitement, relief, or a sense of accomplishment. Examples include watching a funny movie, spending time with loved ones, or achieving a goal. Social rewards. These rewards involve positive social interactions or a sense of belonging. Examples include receiving praise from others, connecting with friends on social media, or feeling accepted by a group. Sensory rewards. These rewards provide a pleasurable sensory experience, such as listening to music, smelling a pleasant fragrance, or enjoying a beautiful view. The role of dopamine. Dopamine, a neurotransmitter in the brain, plays a crucial role in the reward system and habit formation. When you experience a reward, your brain releases dopamine, which creates a feeling of pleasure and reinforces the connection between the cue, routine, and reward. This dopamine surge is what makes habits so powerful and difficult to break. Delayed versus immediate gratification. One important distinction to make is between delayed and immediate gratification. Immediate gratification. These are rewards that are experienced immediately after performing a behavior. They provide instant satisfaction and are particularly powerful in reinforcing habits. Examples include eating a sugary snack, scrolling through social media, or watching a quick video. Bad habits often provide immediate gratification. Delayed gratification. These are rewards that are experienced later, often after a period of effort or waiting. They require more self-control and are less effective in reinforcing habits in the short term. Examples include achieving a long-term goal, receiving a promotion at work, or improving your health through exercise. Good habits often involve delayed gratification. The challenge is that our brains are naturally wired to prioritize immediate gratification. This is why it can be so difficult to resist the temptation of bad habits, even when we know they have negative long-term consequences. Uncovering the real payoff. To effectively change a habit, it's crucial to understand the real reward that it provides. Often, the surface-level reward is not the true motivator. For example, someone who habitually checks their phone might think they are doing it to stay informed, but the real reward might be the feeling of connection, validation, or simply escaping boredom. To uncover the real payoff of a habit, ask yourself the following questions. What am I really getting out of this behavior? What need or desire is this behavior fulfilling? What feeling or sensation am I seeking? By understanding the underlying reward, you can begin to explore alternative ways to satisfy those same needs in a healthier and more productive way. This process, which we'll explore in more detail in Chapter 8, is known as reward renegotiation. Putting it into practice. Choose one of the habits you've been analyzing and reflect on the reward it provides. Use the categories of rewards, physical, emotional, social, sensory, to identify the type of reward you are receiving. Then, ask yourself the questions above to uncover the real payoff. By understanding the reward factor, you complete the habit loop and gain a comprehensive understanding of the forces that drive your behaviors. This knowledge is essential for taking control of your habits and creating lasting change. In Part 2 of this book, we will begin to explore specific strategies for breaking bad habits. Chapter 5. The Golden Rule of Habit Change: Replacing, not eliminating. Now that we've explored the habit loop and its components, we're ready to dive into practical strategies for changing unwanted behaviors. This chapter introduces the golden rule of habit change: replace, don't eliminate. This principle is fundamental to successful habit transformation and forms the basis for the strategies we'll discuss in the following chapters. Why willpower alone is not enough. Many people approach habit change with a focus on willpower and self-discipline. They try to simply stop a bad habit through sheer force of will. While willpower can be helpful in the short term, it's a finite resource that depletes with use. Relying solely on willpower is like trying to hold back a flood with a single sandbag. Eventually, you'll be overwhelmed. The reason willpower is so ineffective for long-term habit change is that it doesn't address the underlying mechanisms of the habit loop. The cue is still present, the brain still anticipates the reward, and the neural pathways associated with the habit remain strong. Simply trying to suppress the routine creates internal conflict and often leads to relapse. The power of replacement. Instead of trying to eliminate a bad habit, a more effective approach is to replace it with a new, more desirable behavior. This strategy works because it acknowledges the power of the habit loop and leverages it for positive change. By providing a new routine that is triggered by the same cue and offers a similar or better reward, you can gradually weaken the old neural pathways and strengthen the new ones. Think of it like replacing a worn-out path in a forest. You don't simply try to erase the old path, you create a new, more appealing path that people will naturally choose to follow. Over time, the old path becomes overgrown and less traveled, while the new path becomes well-worn and established. The importance of finding substitute routines that satisfy the same needs. The key to successful replacement is to find a substitute routine that satisfies the same underlying need or desire as the bad habit. If you simply replace a bad habit with a random behavior that doesn't fulfill the same function, you're likely to experience cravings and eventually revert back to the old habit. For example, if you habitually reach for a sugary snack when you feel stressed, simply replacing that with drinking water might not be effective. While drinking water is a healthy behavior, it doesn't address the underlying need for emotional comfort. A more effective substitute might be going for a short walk, listening to calming music, or engaging in a relaxing activity like meditation. Identifying the need. To find an effective substitute routine, you must first identify the need that the bad habit fulfills. This requires self-reflection and careful analysis of the reward associated with the habit. Ask yourself, what am I really getting out of this habit? What feeling or sensation am I seeking? What need or desire is this behavior fulfilling? Once you've identified the underlying need, you can begin to brainstorm potential substitute routines that address that need in a healthier and more productive way. Examples of replacement. Bad habit, checking social media every few minutes when working. Need, seeking distraction and a quick dopamine hit. Substitute routine, taking a short break to stretch, listen to music, or have a brief conversation with a colleague. Bad habit, smoking a cigarette after a meal. Need, seeking a sensory experience and a moment of relaxation. Substitute routine, taking a short walk, chewing gum, or drinking a cup of herbal tea. Bad habit, procrastinating on important tasks by watching TV. Need, avoiding feelings of overwhelm or anxiety associated with the task. Substitute routine, breaking the task into smaller, more manageable steps, setting a timer for focused work, or using a productivity technique like the Pomodoro technique. By focusing on replacement rather than elimination, you can create lasting change and build a foundation for a healthier and more fulfilling life. In the following chapters, we'll explore specific strategies for managing cues, replacing routines, and renegotiating rewards. Chapter 6. Cue Management, Avoiding and Modifying Triggers. In Chapter 2, we explore the power of cues and how they trigger our automatic behaviors. Now, we'll delve into practical strategies for managing these cues, either by avoiding them altogether or modifying them to disrupt unwanted routines. Effective cue management is a crucial component of breaking bad habits, as it directly addresses the first step in the habit loop. Avoiding high-risk situations and environments. The most straightforward way to manage cues is to avoid the situations and environments that trigger them. This involves identifying the specific contexts where your bad habit is most likely to occur and taking steps to minimize your exposure to them. For example, if you tend to overeat while watching TV, try eating your meals at the dining table instead. If you're tempted to spend money impulsively when you go to the mall, avoid going to the mall altogether. If you find it difficult to resist checking social media when you're working at your desk, try working in a different location, like a library or coffee shop. While completely avoiding all triggers may not always be possible, minimizing your exposure to high-risk situations can significantly reduce the likelihood of engaging in unwanted behaviors. Techniques for modifying cues. Sometimes, avoiding cues is not practical or feasible. In these cases, you can use techniques to modify the cues, disrupting their ability to trigger the unwanted routine. Here are some effective techniques. Change your environment. Altering your physical environment can disrupt established cue routine associations. For example, if you tend to snack in the kitchen, rearrange your kitchen furniture or remove tempting snacks from sight. If you're triggered to smoke when you see your ashtray, remove the ashtray from your environment. Change the time or context. If a specific time or context triggers your bad habit, try changing it. For example, if you habitually check your phone first thing in the morning, place your phone in another room overnight. If you tend to drink alcohol at social gatherings, try attending events where alcohol is not present or arrive later when the initial drinking period has passed. Create friction. Adding friction to the cue can make it less likely to trigger the routine. For example, if you tend to mindlessly scroll through social media on your phone, delete the social media apps from your phone or move them to a less accessible location on your home screen. If you tend to watch too much TV, unplug the TV or hide the remote control. The power of implementation intentions. Creating if-then plans. Implementation intentions are powerful tools for managing cues and disrupting unwanted routines. They involve creating specific if-then plans that link a cue to a desired behavior. The format is simple: if, cue, then I will, behavior. For example, if I feel stressed at work, cue, then I will take a 5-minute walk, behavior. If I finish dinner, cue, then I will immediately wash the dishes, behavior. If I sit down on the couch, cue, then I will open a book, behavior. Implementation intentions are effective because they make your intentions explicit. They force you to clearly define the specific behavior you want to perform in response to a cue. Create a mental link. They create a strong mental association between the cue and the desired behavior, making it more likely that you'll follow through. Reduce decision fatigue. By pre-planning your response to a cue, you reduce the need to make a conscious decision in the moment, making it easier to resist temptation. Putting it into practice. Identify the specific cues that trigger the bad habit you're working on. Brainstorm ways to avoid or modify those cues. Create at least 3 implementation intentions using the if-then format, linking the cues to desired behaviors. By actively managing your cues, you can significantly reduce the power of your bad habits and create a more supportive environment for positive change. In the next chapter, we will explore the strategy of routine replacement in more detail. Chapter 7. Routine replacement, swapping negative behaviors for positive ones. In Chapter 5, we establish the golden rule of habit change: replace, don't eliminate. Now, we'll dive deeper into the practical application of this principle, focusing on the specific strategies for routine replacement. This involves identifying healthy and productive substitute routines that satisfy the same underlying needs as your unwanted behaviors. Identifying healthy and productive substitute routines. The first step in routine replacement is to identify potential substitute routines. These should be behaviors that are healthy. They should contribute to your physical, mental, or emotional well-being. Productive. They should help you achieve your goals or improve your life in some way. Accessible. They should be relatively easy to perform and fit into your lifestyle. Satisfying. Most importantly, they should provide a similar or greater level of satisfaction as the bad habit they are replacing. To identify potential substitute routines, consider the following. The need the bad habit fulfills. Refer back to your analysis from Chapter 4 and identify the core need or desire that your bad habit fulfills. This is crucial for finding an effective substitute. Alternative ways to meet that need. Brainstorm different ways to meet that same need in a healthier and more productive way. Be creative and consider a wide range of options. Your personal preferences. Consider your own interests, values, and preferences. The more you enjoy the substitute routine, the more likely you are to stick with it. Examples of routine replacement. Let's revisit some examples from Chapter 5 and explore potential substitute routines in more detail. Bad habit: checking social media every few minutes when working. Need: seeking distraction and a quick dopamine hit. Substitute routine: taking a short walk to get some fresh air. Listening to a favorite song or podcast. Engaging in a brief conversation with a colleague, if appropriate. Doing a quick stretch or mindfulness exercise. Bad habit: smoking a cigarette after a meal. Need: seeking a sensory experience and a moment of relaxation. Substitute routine: taking a short walk after eating. Chewing gum with a strong flavor. Drinking a cup of herbal tea or a glass of water. Brushing your teeth. Bad habit: procrastinating on important tasks by watching TV. Need: avoiding feelings of overwhelm or anxiety associated with the task. Substitute routine: breaking the task into smaller, more manageable steps. Setting a timer for focused work, e.g., the Pomodoro technique. Using a productivity app or tool to organize your work. Working in a different environment, like a library or coffee shop. Making the new routine attractive and easy to perform. Once you've identified a potential substitute routine, it's important to make it as attractive and easy to perform as possible. This increases the likelihood that you'll stick with it, especially in the early stages of habit change. Make it attractive. Pair the new routine with things you enjoy. For example, if you're replacing snacking with exercise, choose a type of exercise you find enjoyable, like dancing, hiking, or swimming. Visualize yourself performing the new routine and experiencing the positive benefits. Make it easy. Reduce any friction or obstacles that might prevent you from performing the new routine. For example, if you're replacing watching TV with reading, keep a book readily accessible on your coffee table. Start small and gradually increase the duration or intensity of the new routine. The importance of experimentation. It's important to remember that finding the right substitute routine may require some experimentation. What works for one person may not work for another. Be patient with yourself and don't be afraid to try different options until you find something that fits your needs and preferences. Putting it into practice. Choose the bad habit you're working on. Review the need that the habit fulfills. Brainstorm at least 3 potential substitute routines. Choose one substitute routine to start with and make it as attractive and easy as possible. Track your progress and be willing to adjust your approach as needed. By focusing on replacing negative behaviors with positive ones, you can create lasting change and build a foundation for a healthier and more fulfilling life. In the next chapter, we'll explore the strategy of reward renegotiation, focusing on finding new sources of satisfaction. Chapter 8. Reward renegotiation, finding new sources of satisfaction. We've explored the importance of cues and routines in the habit loop, and how to manage and replace them. Now, we turn our attention to the final piece of the puzzle, the reward. Reward renegotiation is the process of finding new, healthier ways to satisfy the underlying needs that your bad habits currently fulfill. This chapter will guide you through this process, emphasizing the importance of understanding your needs, exploring alternative rewards, and practicing self-compassion. Identifying the core needs your bad habit fulfills. Before you can find new sources of satisfaction, you must first understand the why behind your bad habit. What core need is it fulfilling? Often, the surface-level reward, e.g., the taste of a sugary snack, the momentary distraction of social media, is not the true motivator. The bad habit might be serving a deeper emotional or psychological need. Common needs that bad habits often fulfill include stress relief. Many people turn to bad habits like smoking, overeating, or excessive screen time as a way to cope with stress. Emotional comfort. When feeling down, anxious, or lonely, people might seek comfort in habits like emotional eating, online shopping, or excessive gaming. Boredom relief. Habits like mindless scrolling or watching TV can provide a temporary escape from boredom. Social connection. For some, habits like excessive social media use or seeking constant validation online can be driven by a need for social connection and belonging. Sense of control. In situations where people feel a lack of control, they might turn to habits that give them a momentary sense of control, such as excessive cleaning or ordering things repetitively. By carefully analyzing the reward associated with your bad habit, as discussed in Chapter 4, you can begin to uncover the underlying need it fulfills. Ask yourself, what feeling am I seeking when I engage in this habit? What problem am I trying to solve? What need am I trying to meet? Exploring alternative rewards that provide similar or greater satisfaction. Once you've identified the core need, you can begin exploring alternative rewards that provide similar or greater satisfaction in a healthier way. The key is to find rewards that address the root cause of the behavior, rather than simply offering a different surface-level pleasure. For example, if your bad habit provides stress relief, consider alternative stress-reducing activities like exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in a hobby you enjoy. If your bad habit provides emotional comfort, explore healthier ways to cope with difficult emotions, such as talking to a friend or therapist, journaling, or engaging in creative activities. If your bad habit relieves boredom, find stimulating activities that engage your mind and body, such as reading, learning a new skill, or pursuing a creative project. If your bad habit is related to social connection, focus on building meaningful relationships with others, joining a club or group with shared interests, or engaging in volunteer work. The power of positive reinforcement and self-compassion. As you begin to implement new rewards and work towards breaking bad habits, it's essential to practice positive reinforcement and self-compassion. Positive reinforcement. When you successfully choose a new, healthier reward, acknowledge and celebrate your success. This reinforces the new behavior and makes it more likely that you'll repeat it in the future. You can reward yourself with small treats, words of affirmation, or by simply taking a moment to appreciate your progress. Self-compassion. Habit change is a process, not an event. There will be times when you slip up or revert back to old habits. When this happens, it's important to practice self-compassion. Avoid self-criticism and instead focus on learning from your mistakes and getting back on track. Remember that setbacks are a normal part of the process, and they don't mean you've failed. Putting it into practice. Choose the bad habit you're working on. Identify the core need that the habit fulfills. Brainstorm at least 3 alternative rewards that could satisfy that same need in a healthier way. Choose one alternative reward to start with and make it as appealing and accessible as possible. Practice positive reinforcement and self-compassion throughout the process. By renegotiating your rewards and finding new sources of satisfaction, you can effectively break the hold that bad habits have on your life and create space for healthier, more fulfilling behaviors. With this understanding of the habit loop complete, we move on to building good habits in Part 3. Chapter 9. The 4 Laws of Behavior Change, Making Good Habits Inevitable. Having explored the mechanics of the habit loop and strategies for breaking bad habits, we now turn our focus to the other side of the coin, building good habits. This chapter introduces the 4 Laws of Behavior Change, a powerful framework for making good habits not just possible, but inevitable. These laws, based on extensive research in behavioral science, provide a practical guide for designing habits that stick. The 4 laws. Each of these laws corresponds to a stage in the habit loop: cue, routine, reward, offering specific strategies for making each stage more conducive to habit formation. Make it obvious. Cue: design your environment to make the cues for your desired habits highly visible and readily apparent. Make it attractive. Craving/motivation: make your desired habits appealing and link them to things you already enjoy. Make it easy. Response/routine: reduce the friction associated with your desired habits, making them as easy and convenient as possible to perform. Make it satisfying. Reward: ensure that performing your desired habits provides a satisfying reward, reinforcing the behavior and making it more likely to be repeated. Let's explore each of these laws in detail. 1. Make it obvious. Cue. To make a good habit obvious, you need to design your environment to provide clear and unambiguous cues. Placement. Place cues for your desired habits in prominent locations where you'll see them regularly. For example, if you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand or coffee table. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Time and location specificity. Use implementation intentions to link specific times and locations to your desired habits. For example, if it is 7 a.m. and I am in the kitchen, then I will make a healthy breakfast. Habit stacking. Link your new habit to an existing habit. After you, current habit, I will, new habit. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will do 10 push-ups. 2. Make it attractive. Craving/motivation. Making a habit attractive increases your motivation to perform it. Temptation bundling. Pair a habit you want to do with a habit you need to do. For example, after I finish working on this report, I will watch an episode of my favorite show, Want. Join a culture where your desired behavior is normal. Surround yourself with people who already practice the habits you want to adopt. This provides social proof and makes the behavior more appealing. Reframe your associations. Focus on the benefits of the habit rather than the perceived drawbacks. For example, instead of thinking of exercise as a chore, focus on how it makes you feel energized and improves your mood. 3. Make it easy. Response/routine. Reducing friction makes it easier to perform your desired habits. Reduce friction. Minimize the number of steps required to perform the habit. For example, if you want to meditate more, create a dedicated meditation space in your home and keep a meditation cushion readily available. Prime your environment. Prepare your environment in advance to make it easier to perform the habit. For example, if you want to eat healthier, meal prep on the weekends and keep healthy snacks readily available. 2-minute rule. Start with a very small version of the habit that takes only 2 minutes to perform. This makes it easier to get started and builds momentum. 4. Make it satisfying. Reward. Positive reinforcement strengthens the habit loop and makes it more likely that you'll repeat the behavior. Use reinforcement. Provide yourself with a reward immediately after performing the habit. This could be anything that you find enjoyable, such as listening to music, taking a short break, or giving yourself a small treat. Track your progress. Tracking your progress provides visual evidence of your success and reinforces the habit. Use a habit tracker, journal, or app to monitor your progress. Avoid missing twice. If you miss a day, make sure you don't miss 2 days in a row. This helps prevent a small slip-up from turning into a complete relapse. Putting it into practice. Choose one good habit you want to build and apply each of the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious. How can you make the cue for this habit more visible in your environment? Make it attractive. How can you make this habit more appealing? Make it easy. How can you reduce the friction associated with this habit? Make it satisfying. How can you ensure that performing this habit provides a rewarding experience? By applying these 4 laws, you can create a powerful system for building good habits that stick. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to design your environment for habit success in more detail. Chapter 10. Designing your environment for habit success. In the previous chapter, we introduced the 4 laws of behavior change, emphasizing the importance of making good habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. This chapter delves deeper into the first of these laws, making it obvious, by focusing on the crucial role of environment in habit formation. Designing your environment for success is about strategically shaping your surroundings to support your desired behaviors and minimize exposure to triggers for unwanted habits. Creating a physical space that supports your goals. Your physical environment has a profound impact on your behavior. By intentionally designing your space, you can create a powerful system of cues that promote good habits. Design for specific activities. Dedicate specific areas of your home or workspace to particular activities. For example, create a dedicated reading nook with comfortable seating and good lighting. Set up a designated workout area with your exercise equipment readily accessible. Establish a workspace free from distractions, where you can focus on work or study. Optimize for visibility. Place cues for your desired habits in highly visible locations. For example, keep healthy snacks on the countertop instead of hidden in the pantry. Place your running shoes by the door so you see them when you leave the house. Keep a gratitude journal on your nightstand as a reminder to reflect on the day. Minimize temptations. Remove cues for unwanted habits from your environment. For example, remove junk food from your home. Hide the TV remote control. Unsubscribe from tempting email lists. Leveraging technology to reinforce positive behaviors. Technology can be a powerful tool for shaping your environment and reinforcing positive behaviors. Use apps and reminders. Utilize habit tracking apps, reminder apps, and other digital tools to provide cues and track your progress. Set reminders for your desired habits and use apps to monitor your adherence. Automate cues. Use technology to automate cues for your habits. For example, set your phone to automatically play a meditation track at a specific time each day. Use smart lighting to create a relaxing atmosphere in the evening, cueing you to wind down for bed. Use website blockers and app timers. If you struggle with distractions like social media or certain websites, use website blockers or app timers to limit your access during specific times. Building a supportive social environment. Your social environment also plays a significant role in habit formation. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who share your goals can make it easier to stick to your desired habits. Find a habit partner. Find someone who shares your goals and work together to support each other. You can hold each other accountable, share tips and strategies, and celebrate each other's successes. Join a group or community. Joining a group or community of people who are working towards similar goals can provide a sense of belonging and motivation. This could be a fitness group, a book club, or an online community. Communicate your goals. Share your goals with your friends and family. This can create external accountability and provide you with social support. Putting it into practice. Choose one good habit you want to build. Analyze your current environment and identify any cues that support or hinder this habit. Brainstorm ways to redesign your physical space to make the cues for this habit more obvious. Explore how you can use technology to reinforce this habit. Consider how you can build a more supportive social environment for this habit. By intentionally designing your environment, both physical and social, you can create a powerful system that supports your desired habits and makes it easier to achieve your goals. This proactive approach to habit formation is far more effective than relying solely on willpower. In the next chapter, we will discuss the role of motivation, willpower, and mindset in the habit change process. Chapter 11. The role of motivation, willpower, and mindset. While the previous chapters have focused on the mechanics of habits and practical strategies for change, this chapter addresses the internal factors that influence our ability to break bad habits and build good ones: motivation, willpower, and mindset. Understanding the limitations of willpower, cultivating a growth mindset, and connecting with your intrinsic motivation are essential for long-term habit change success. Understanding the limitations of willpower and how to conserve it. Willpower, often described as mental muscle, is the ability to resist short-term temptations in pursuit of long-term goals. While it plays a role in habit change, it's crucial to understand its limitations. Willpower is a finite resource. Research shows that willpower is like a muscle that fatigues with use. Every time you exert self-control, your willpower reserves are depleted, making it harder to resist temptation in subsequent situations. This is known as ego depletion. Willpower is influenced by various factors. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, and low blood sugar can further deplete your willpower reserves, making it even more challenging to stick to your goals. Over-reliance on willpower leads to burnout. Constantly relying on willpower to overcome bad habits is unsustainable and often leads to burnout, frustration, and relapse. Therefore, rather than solely relying on willpower, it's more effective to conserve it by prioritizing tasks. Focus your willpower on the most important habits you want to change, rather than trying to change everything at once. Creating supportive environments. As discussed in Chapter 10, designing your environment to support your goals reduces the need for willpower. Getting enough sleep. Adequate sleep is crucial for restoring willpower reserves. Managing stress. Effective stress management techniques, such as exercise, meditation, and spending time in nature, can help conserve willpower. Maintaining stable blood sugar. Eating regular, balanced meals helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, which supports cognitive function and willpower. Cultivating a growth mindset and embracing challenges. Your mindset, or your beliefs about your abilities and potential, plays a crucial role in habit change. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This contrasts with a fixed mindset, which is the belief that your abilities are fixed traits that cannot be changed. People with a growth mindset are more likely to embrace challenges. They see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than threats to their self-esteem. Persist through setbacks. They view setbacks as temporary obstacles, rather than signs of failure. Learn from feedback. They are open to feedback and use it to improve their performance. Cultivating a growth mindset can significantly enhance your ability to change habits. To develop a growth mindset. Focus on the process. Focus on the effort you're putting in and the progress you're making, rather than solely on the outcome. View challenges as opportunities. Reframe challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Learn from setbacks. See setbacks as learning experiences and use them to adjust your approach. Believe in your potential. Believe that you have the ability to change and improve. The importance of intrinsic motivation and finding your why. Intrinsic motivation is the drive to do something for its own sake, rather than for external rewards or pressures. Connecting with your intrinsic motivation is crucial for long-term habit change. To find your why and connect with your intrinsic motivation. Identify your values. What is truly important to you? What kind of person do you want to be? Connect your habits to your values. How do your desired habits align with your values? How will they help you become the person you want to be? Focus on the internal benefits. Focus on the internal benefits of the habit, such as improved health, increased energy, or a greater sense of well-being, rather than external rewards like praise or recognition. When your habits are aligned with your values and driven by intrinsic motivation, you're more likely to stick with them, even when faced with challenges. Putting it into practice. Reflect on your current mindset. Do you tend to have a fixed or growth mindset? Identify one habit you're working on and connect it to your values. Why is this habit important to you? What internal benefits will it provide? Develop strategies for conserving your willpower and managing stress. By understanding the role of motivation, willpower, and mindset, you can create a strong internal foundation for lasting habit change. In the final chapter, we will discuss strategies for tracking progress and staying on track. Chapter 12. Tracking progress and staying on track. You've learned about the science of habits, strategies for breaking bad ones, and techniques for building good ones. This final chapter focuses on the crucial aspect of tracking progress and developing strategies for staying on track in the long run. Habit change is a journey, not a destination, and consistent monitoring, celebration of milestones, and acceptance of setbacks are essential components of sustainable transformation. Effective habit tracking methods. Tracking your progress provides several benefits. Creates awareness. Tracking makes you more aware of your behavior patterns and helps you identify triggers and trends. Provides motivation. Seeing your progress can be highly motivating and reinforce your commitment to change. Offers data for adjustment. Tracking provides valuable data that you can use to adjust your strategies and make necessary changes. Several effective habit tracking methods exist. Journals. A simple notebook or journal can be an effective way to track your habits. You can create a daily or weekly chart, marking off each time you perform your desired habit or avoid an unwanted one. Apps. Numerous habit tracking apps are available for smartphones and tablets. These apps often offer features like reminders, progress charts, and community support. Spreadsheets. A spreadsheet can be a versatile tool for tracking habits, especially if you want to track multiple habits or analyze your data in more detail. When choosing a tracking method, consider what works best for your personality and lifestyle. The key is to choose a method that you'll actually use consistently. Key elements of effective tracking. Be specific, clearly define the habit you're tracking. Instead of eat healthier, track eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. Track consistently, track your habits daily or at regular intervals. The more consistently you track, the more accurate and useful your data will be. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Aim for consistency rather than perfection. Missing a day or two doesn't mean you've failed. Just get back on track as soon as possible. Visualize your progress. Use charts, graphs, or other visual aids to track your progress. Seeing your improvement can be highly motivating. Celebrating milestones and acknowledging setbacks. It's important to celebrate your successes along the way. Recognizing and rewarding yourself for achieving milestones can reinforce your positive behaviors and keep you motivated. Set realistic milestones. Break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. This makes the journey feel less overwhelming and provides more opportunities for celebration. Reward yourself. When you reach a milestone, reward yourself with something you enjoy. This could be anything from a small treat to a larger purchase, depending on the significance of the milestone. Acknowledge your progress. Take time to reflect on how far you've come and acknowledge your hard work and dedication. Setbacks are a normal part of the habit change process. It's important to anticipate them and develop strategies for dealing with them effectively. Don't beat yourself up. When you experience a setback, avoid self-criticism and self-blame. Remember that everyone makes mistakes. Analyze the setback. Try to understand what triggered the setback and what you can learn from it. Get back on track quickly. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible. Don't let a small slip-up turn into a complete relapse. The importance of consistency and patience. Habit change takes time and effort. It's important to be patient with yourself and to focus on consistency rather than instant results. Focus on the process. Focus on the daily actions you're taking rather than solely on the end goal. Be patient. It takes time for new habits to become ingrained. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Trust the process. Trust that if you consistently apply the strategies you've learned, you will eventually achieve your goals. Putting it into practice. Choose a habit you're currently working on. Select a habit tracking method that works for you. Set a realistic milestone for yourself. Develop a plan for how you'll handle setbacks. By consistently tracking your progress, celebrating your successes, and learning from your setbacks, you can create lasting change and achieve your habit change goals. Remember that habit change is a lifelong practice. Embrace the journey, be patient with yourself, and celebrate the small victories along the way. Conclusion. This book has explored the fascinating world of habits, delving into the science behind how they form, the strategies for breaking bad ones, and the techniques for building good ones. We've uncovered the power of the habit loop, cue, routine, reward, and how understanding this fundamental mechanism is key to unlocking lasting change. We began by decoding habits, learning how to identify the patterns that shape our lives and understanding the role of cues, routines, and rewards. We then moved into practical strategies for breaking bad habits, emphasizing the golden rule of replacement over elimination. We explored the importance of cue management, routine replacement, and reward renegotiation, providing you with a toolkit of effective techniques to disrupt unwanted behaviors. Finally, we turned our attention to building good habits, introducing the 4 laws of behavior change: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. We discussed the importance of designing your environment for success, leveraging technology, and building a supportive social network. We also addressed the crucial role of motivation, willpower, and mindset, emphasizing the importance of intrinsic motivation, a growth mindset, and self-compassion. The power of small changes, how tiny habits can lead to big transformations. One of the key takeaways from this book is the power of small changes. Often, we try to make drastic changes overnight, setting ourselves up for failure. By focusing on small, incremental improvements, we can build momentum and create lasting transformations. The 2-minute rule, discussed in Chapter 9, exemplifies this principle. Starting with a tiny version of a desired habit makes it easier to get started and builds a sense of accomplishment. These small wins create a positive feedback loop, motivating us to continue making progress. Over time, these small changes compound, leading to significant and lasting results. Embracing the journey, making habit change a lifelong practice. Habit change is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. There will be times when you experience setbacks or feel discouraged. It's important to remember that these are normal parts of the journey. The key is to embrace the process, be patient with yourself, and learn from your mistakes. Consistency over perfection, aim for consistency rather than perfection. Missing a day or 2 doesn't mean you've failed. Just get back on track as soon as possible. Self-compassion, be kind to yourself and avoid self-criticism. Treat yourself with the same understanding and compassion that you would offer a friend. Continuous improvement, habit change is a lifelong practice. There's always room for improvement. Continue to experiment with different strategies, track your progress, and adjust your approach as needed. By embracing the journey and making habit change a lifelong practice, you can unlock your full potential and create a life filled with healthy, productive, and fulfilling habits. You now have the knowledge and tools to rewire your life. Start small, be consistent, and trust the process. The power to change is within you.